Good morning and welcome to the video for 6th grade for Monday, April the 20th. This is going to cover finding the surface area of prisms. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Unlock the Problem for today. So we are going to use a net to help us find the surface area of this particular shape. So to start with, we are going to have a bunch of different things going on. So they give us part A and they give us part B. So part B, we would get our 15 from this side times 10, and that part would go inside, and that would give us 150 inches. They already gave us part A, so 12 times 10 would give us 120 inches squared. Part C is going to be 15 times 10. And again, if you need to pause the video while we're doing this so you can keep up, that's perfectly fine. Part D is going to give us 15 times 12. Or I'm sorry. I'm looking at a different version of this in the teacher's edition than what I have on the thing. So let me make sure I'm paying close attention here. So part D is actually going to be 15 times 12, and that should give us 180. Part E is going to give us 15 times 12, and that is also going to give us 180. And then part F is going to match part A, and that will give us 120. So we're going to have 12 times 10. So I'm going to have two faces that are 120 inches, two that are 150, and two that are 180. So when I go ahead and add all of those together, that should give us 300, 600, 900. And that would be inches squared. And we would actually put that in both of these boxes. I'm not going to take the time to write it the second time. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next shape, where we are going to use a triangular prism. And so we are going to have to use our part for finding the area of a triangle to potentially help us as well. So to start with, we want the area for bases A and E. So we're going to do 1/2 times the base times the height is going to give us 1/2 of 12 times 5. And so if I were to go ahead and group this part together first, that would give me 6 times 5, which is going to give me 30. So for part B, we are going to do the length times the width. We get 5 times 10. And so that will give us a total of 50. We are not going to have another part that matches this. So both A and E are going to be the same. D, C, and B are all going to be slightly different. So for part C, we are doing 12 times 10. And that's going to give us 120. For part D, we're going to do 13 times 10, and that's going to give us 130. And then we can add all these up. I'm going to skip this part and just do the addition. So that would give us 250, 300, 330, but we're doing it twice. So 330 plus 30 would give us 360 inches squared. And now for the bottom one, this one is much easier because everything is going to be the exact same measurement. So we're doing 5 times 5, 6 times. And that's going to give us 25. And we are going to add that up 6 times. So that would be 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150. And for this one, we could also use a formula. So that formula would look a little bit like this number times the number of sides. And so we can do s is equal to 6 times 5 squared for this one, or we could just abbreviate it and do 6 times 25. And again, that's going to give us 150 centimeters squared. So let's take a look at our first page, or first problem, excuse me, for share and show. So we want to figure out the area of each of these. It looks like everything is going to be identical. So for each face, we can do 2 times 2 equals 4. And because we are working with a cube, we are always going to have 6 faces. And so we can do 6 times 4 equals 24. Now, number 3 on my version looks like it doesn't have anything here. So hopefully this didn't happen in your book. If it did, then my apologies. I'm going to write in what shows up in the teacher's edition for this, and we'll kind of talk through it. So what it gave me to work with would have been 3.5 or 3.5, and then 4 inches here, and then 8.5 or 8.5 here. And we are going to be working with inches. So to start with, we can go ahead and say that we're going to have 2 versions of 8.5 times 4. So we're going to have 2 of these. We should have 2 8.5 times 3.5. And we should have 2 versions of 3.5 times 4. So let's go ahead, if you need to go ahead and pause the video to get that part, this part here sorted out, you can go ahead and pause. When you're ready, go ahead and push the play button again. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. So I'm going to get 2 for this part. I'm going to get 32 for this part. So that's going to give me 34. And I don't know why this keeps zooming out every time I do that. And this is going to be for each of them. So at the bottom, we're going to have 2 of these. So we're going to do 34 plus 34 plus, I'll do this part next. So again, we're going to have a 2 here, and 4 times 3 is going to give us 12. So that should give us 14. And so we are going to have 2 of those. And then our last one, we are going to have 8.5 times 3.5. And that's giving me 29.75, which we are going to have 2 of those as well. And I'm just going to make this be the other one that we write down. So we are going to end up with 0.75 plus 0.75, which is going to give us a ½ an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this just a little bit so that I can start writing the answer in. So at the end, we're going to have 1/2 an inch. So I am going to carry a 1. That's going to go here. So 30 plus 29 gives me 59. Then 69, 79, 83, 87, 91, 95. And 95 plus 30 would give me 125. 125 plus 30 would give me 155. So that's going to come out to 155 and 1/2, or 155.5 inches squared. So if you were missing the numbers in your book, I apologize for that. If you have different numbers than what you have here, I'm going off of what they gave me in the teacher's edition. So if you had a different answer, please let me know in the comments in Google Classroom. So our last one, we are going to have every single part of this be the same amount. So we are going to have a cube, and we are going to have 7.5 times 7.5. And then we are going to multiply this answer times 6 to get our answer for the total surface area. So that's going to give us 25, carry the 2, 37, and then we can repeat that for the 35. Oh, sorry, that's actually not a repeat. 49 plus 3 gives us 52. And so we're going to have 2 decimal points. And so I came up with 56.25. If I take that times 6, then that gives me 30, 15, carry the 1, 37, 30 plus 3 gives me 33. So I'm getting 337.5, or 337 and 1/2. So those are the problems that we are working with for this part of the lesson. If you have any questions, please feel free again to ask in Google Classroom. Sorry that took a little bit longer trying to write everything in instead of having it already. I think that may help you kind of think through the process as you're working on it on your own. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.